Lately, I've been wondering something. What happens when survival is no longer the thing driving your life? Because for a long time, it drove mine. My parents spent most of their lives trying to build a better one, for themselves and for me. Somewhere along the way, I inherited their urgency, the quiet belief that if I just worked a little harder, achieved a little more, became a little more successful, then maybe, just maybe, I'd finally be safe. And it worked. It got me through school. It built my career. It opened doors. It kept me alive. But one day I realized I didn't know who I was without it. I wonder how many of us inherit more than our parents' values. Maybe we inherit their sacrifices, their fears, the dreams they never had the chance to pursue. Maybe we inherit their survival. And if that's true, maybe the hardest part isn't surviving. Maybe it's learning how to live, because if survival isn't the point anymore, then what is? Who are you when survival is no longer your identity? I don't think anyone ever taught me how to ask myself what I actually wanted, or maybe they couldn't. They were too busy surviving. Growing up, there were only a handful of acceptable answers for my future. Doctor, anything that provided financial stability and merit. Maybe lawyer. Doctor was always the dream, not mine, theirs. And I understood why those careers meant stability, respect, security, insurance against uncertainty. And that's fine for someone who is only looking for those things, which wasn't me. What I couldn't understand was why the people who were supposed to love me the most would only accept me if I fit their exact mold, even if they had to disfigure and refigure me to force me into it. Somewhere beneath those expectations, I thought acting looked incredible. I definitely rebelled. It felt like someone had figured out a way to make being glamorous, being celebrated for playing, their job. So I went to New York City. I threw myself into doing plays and meeting incredible people. It opened me up. It forced me off autopilot and allowed me to become a real human being. But eventually, I realized something. I still wasn't creating for myself. I was performing someone else's vision, someone else's words, someone else's story. It was a cover for what I really wanted, because back then I didn't know how to figure that out. So I took the easiest option available. Societies. What society celebrated. Maybe that's all I really wanted at that time. To be celebrated for being human, for being me. That's when it hit me. The problem was never that I couldn't figure out what I wanted. The problem was that no one ever taught me how to discover what I wanted. Those are two completely different things. One is confusion. The other is a missing skill. When you spend 30 years meeting everyone else's expectations, your own voice gets very quiet. So how do you actually learn to hear it? I think we learn in 4 ways. First, by creating instead of consuming. When you're constantly taking in society's rules, parents' expectations, and endless advice, you can't hear yourself think. Creating forces you to listen to your own voice. Second, by paying attention to energy instead of achievement. For years, I measured success by outcomes and titles. Now the question isn't, what am I good at, or what impresses people? The question is, what actually engages me? What energizes me? What excites me? Third, by experimenting instead of deciding. You don't figure out who you are in your head. You figure it out by trying things. Travel, coaching, filming, writing. Each one shows you aspects you love and ones you don't. That's not failure. That's valuable information about the life you want to create. It shows you what you want more of and what you want less of moving forward. Maybe that's the real key. Small baby steps. And fourth, by letting your identity open up to possibility. Opening up to choice, to the choices you are finally free to make for yourself. People talk about killing your old self or wasting time, but none of it was wasted. In survival mode, your world is tiny. You have to hyper-focus on one path just to stay alive. But once survival is secured, you don't erase the survivor. They finally get to look up. You take the discipline from your upbringing, the emotional truth from New York for me, whatever hometown you're from, and you bring all of it forward. You don't have to mourn the journey when every single step was teaching you how to be a human being living a life. My parents taught me that survival is essential, to prioritize it at all costs. They had to. That's what their lives required in their eyes. But we get to evolve from there. Because to me, true survival is living a life I actually want to live. A life that doesn't make me want to stay in bed all day. Something to get up for, something to be excited about. That is surviving. The alternative isn't safety. It's just a slower kind of death. It isn't living. Maybe every generation has a different job. Maybe theirs was survival. Maybe mine is learning how to truly live. And learning how not to parent. How not to impress your will onto another free human being. My parents taught me how to survive. Life is teaching me how to live. I am teaching myself how to live. And if I'm lucky, maybe one day I'll be able to teach others not just how to survive, but how to ask themselves what they truly want. Like you, what do you truly want? Because here's the thing. I think that's how we all collectively figure it out.